Sir Muhammad Online Class.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Well, alright class, you are welcome to the online tutorial class. Today we will be talking about trigonometry, that is trig in short form. So our main topic today is special angles. But before we move into special angle, we want to make some introduction so that when we move into the main topic, special angles, it will not be difficult. So our main topic is supposed to be special angles. Our main topic is supposed to be what? Special angle. But before we move into special angle, there are certain things we need to know. One is Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem is mathematically states that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to square of opposite plus square of adjacent. Square of hypotenuse is equal to square of adjacent plus the square of opposite. Now, where this h square, the h stands for hypotenuse, a stands for adjacent, and o stands for opposite. So let it not sound like a magic. Let's see what are these three variables we are talking about. So when you have a right angle triangle like this, if you have a right angle triangle, the longest line is always called the hypotenuse. The longest line is called the hypotenuse. Then the line facing the angle theta, is always called the opposite, and then the final one is now the adjacent. So the longest line is called hypotenuse. The line facing the angle is called the opposite, and then the other is called the adjacent. So now another thing we need to know is what we call what? SOHCAHTOA. So meaning sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Ka meaning cos, C means cos theta is equal to A means adjacent over H means hypotenuse. Toa meaning T tan theta is what? Opposite over A adjacent. So that's little thing we need to know there. So there are some related identities such as cot theta. Wherever you see cot theta, it stands for inverse of tan theta. That is 1 over tan theta. Sec theta, look at it. Cot 1 over tan. Sec 1 over cos. And cosec 1 over sine. So we have cot theta is 1 over tan theta. Sec theta is 1 over cos theta. And cosec theta is 1 over sine theta. So, but sometimes in the relation to sine theta and cos theta, tan theta it can be represented by sine theta over cos theta, and cot theta can be represented as cos theta over sine theta. So where you are given sine theta and cos theta, you can look for tan theta, and also you can look for cot theta. Now let's move into our main topic, which is what? Special angles. In dealing with the special angle we will be dealing with today are 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. Now, let's start with 45 degrees. In dealing with 45 degrees, you need a right angle triangle, and that right angle triangle with these two sides, we do two angles equal. So here we have 45 degrees, here we have 45 degrees. If here is 1, what will be this place? So now let's see how we can get that place. We can say, okay, using Pythagoras theorem, this is hypotenuse. We can say the square using Pythagoras theorem, which says the square of the hypotenuse is equal to square of adjacent plus the square of the opposite. So now we can say, what is our hypotenuse? This is our hypotenuse square is equals to square of our adjacent. This is our adjacent square. Opposite, the one facing the angle, opposite is 1. Okay, 1 square is 1 plus 1 square is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So meaning h square is equal to 2. So what will be our hypotenuse? Our hypotenuse will be equals to what? Take the square root of both sides, it will be square root of 2. So meaning that this side now is square root of 2, right? So if that place is square root of 2, we can apply it here and say, okay, this is what? This is 1, and here is root 2. So now you can find any angle you want, any of the trigonometric identity you want. Now let's look for cos 45. This is 45 degrees. So this place can be opposite and this place adjacent, and to this one this is opposite and this is adjacent. You can see both of them are 1 1. So now cos 45 degree is adjacent over hypotenuse. Considering this is our adjacent. Considering this is our adjacent and this is our hypotenuse. Considering this is our adjacent and this is our hypotenuse. So it will still be adjacent 1 over hypotenuse root 2. So 1 over root 2 is our special angle for cos 45. So sine 45, what is sine? From ka tua. What is sine? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine 45 will be opposite over hypotenuse, which is also 1 over root 2. Then tan 45 is what? Tan is opposite over adjacent. So this is opposite, this is adjacent, that is 1 over 1, which is equal to 1. Now, cot 45 is 1 over tan, right? Cot is 1 over tan, so we can say 1, which is this, over tan 45, which is 1. So 1 divided by 1 is equal to 1. So sec 45 is 1 over cos 45, so 1 over cos 45. But what is cos 45? We found cos 45 to be 1 over root 2. So this will be 1. This sign simply means divide by. Cos 45 is 1 over root 2. Place it. So change it to multiplication. This one goes up and this one comes down. It becomes 1 times root 2 divided by 1. 1 times root 2 is root 2. Root 2 divided by 1 is still root 2. So this is our answer for sec 45. So you can go ahead and look for the cosec. It's easy. So now in getting the remaining two special angles, which are 30 and 60, we need to use an equilateral triangle. Sorry, my triangle looks somehow, but it's supposed to be an equilateral triangle, meaning all three sides are equal. So if all three sides are equal, all three angles are equal. Here is 60, 60 and 60. So if I divide the triangle into 2, it means that here becomes 30 and here is 30. Here instead of 2, here becomes 1 and here becomes 1. So now carry one of the triangle out. If you carry out one of the triangle, meaning we'll have something like this. Let's take this now. We'll have something like this. Here is 30, 30. Here is 60, here is 60. And then this is our 90 degree. Here is 2, look at the 2. Here is 1, look at the 1. Then here we don't know the value. We still apply our Pythagoras theorem. Applying our Pythagoras theorem, we have h square is equal to what? Square of the opposite plus square of adjacent plus square of opposite. Our hypotenuse is 2. So 2 square is equals to, our adjacent is 1. 1 square plus opposite is unknown, O square. So the opposite square will, 2 square is 4. 1 square is 1. So if you take this one to the other side, it becomes 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 will give you 3. So O will take the square root of both sides. Our opposite will be root 3. So meaning that this place is meant to be what? Root 3. So now applying this here, we know that here now we have 2, here 1, and here root 3. So you can now use this to find every other thing. Now let's say sine 60. Sine, so, is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine 60, this is 60 degree. It will be opposite over hypotenuse. What is the opposite of 60? The opposite, the one facing the angle, is root 3 over our hypotenuse, which is 2. Now the next one is cos 60. Cos 60 is adjacent over hypotenuse. Which one is adjacent to 60? 1 is adjacent to 60 over hypotenuse, which is 2. You have 1 over 2. Now tan 60 is opposite over adjacent. What is the opposite of 60? Is root 3. Adjacent is 1, so it's root 3 over 1, which is equal to root 3. Then now sine 30. Now looking at this 30, where is the opposite of 30? Opposite of 30 is 1. The hypotenuse of hypotenuse is 2, so it will be 1 over 2. Now get the difference here. This place is opposite of 60 but adjacent of 30. This place is opposite of 30 but adjacent of what? 60. Opposite to 30, adjacent to 60. Opposite to 60, adjacent to 30. So now, cos 30 is adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, adjacent, where is the adjacent? This is 30, this will be the opposite, this is adjacent. So it will be root 3 over adjacent hypotenuse, which is 2. So we have root 3 over 2. So now we have tan 30 is opposite over adjacent, which is opposite. Opposite of 30 is 1. Adjacent is root 3. So it's 1 over root 3. So you can go ahead and find the sec, cot, and cosec of 30 and 60 to prove your understanding. So we stop here. We continue from here in the next class. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.